I'm 91 years old, and 3 years ago I said no to my daughter, no to something she thought I should have said yes to, because I'm a grandmother, and grandmothers always say yes. But I said no, and since then the distance between us is like a crack that won't close. She asked me to watch her children 3 days a week, 10 hours a day, without paying me. Because you're a grandmother, Mom. It's what grandmothers do. And I said no, that I wasn't going to be a free nanny, that I wasn't going to give up my life, that I wasn't going to be available whenever she needed me. And she got angry, very angry. My name is Mary Dawson, and on this channel I say the truths nobody says, about boundaries with family, about grandmothers who don't have to be free nannies, about the right to say no. If you want to keep listening, subscribe, because I'm not going to apologize for setting limits. Today, I'm going to tell you why I said no, and why I don't regret it, because there's a huge lie about grandmothers, an unfair expectation that we're available, always, for whatever, especially to watch grandchildren, that it's our duty, our obligation, our privilege, and if we don't do it, we're bad grandmothers, selfish, cold. But that's a lie that pressures us, that blames us, that steals our lives. I love my grandchildren. I love them deeply, but I'm not going to be their free nanny. Elizabeth, my youngest daughter, is a therapist. She lives in Portland, like me. She has 2 children, a girl who's 9 and a boy who's 7. Beautiful children, sweet, that I adore. When they were born, I helped. Of course I helped. I watched them when Elizabeth needed me, an afternoon, sometimes a full day, and I did it gladly, because it was occasional help, not permanent obligation. But 3 years ago, Elizabeth came to my house with a proposal. Mom, I need to ask you something important. I sat down. I knew something big was coming. I need you to watch the children 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 3 full days? Yes. You'd pick them up from school at 3, and you'd stay with them until I get home from work, around 8 at night. I did the math quickly. 3 in the afternoon to 8 at night. 5 hours. 3 days a week. 15 hours a week. That's a lot of time, Elizabeth. I know, but you're the only person I trust, and I can't afford a nanny. They're so expensive here in Portland. What about their father? Can't he pick them up some days? He works late. He can't. Then find daycare or after-school programs. I can't afford them, Mom. That's why I'm asking you. And there it was, the real request. Not that I help occasionally, that I become a nanny for free, permanently. Elizabeth, 3 days a week is a full-time job. No, it's not. It's helping your daughter, your grandchildren. It's work. 15 hours a week of work. Other grandmothers do it without complaining. I'm not other grandmothers. Mom, you're their grandmother. You're supposed to want to spend time with them. And I do, but on my terms, not as an obligation. An obligation? Is that how you see your grandchildren? As an obligation? No, I see them as people I love, but watching them 15 hours a week is an obligation. She went quiet, angry. I can't believe you're saying no to me. I'm not saying no. I'm saying no to this. Then what are you saying yes to? I can watch them 1 day a week, a day I choose, when it works for me. 1 day? I need 3. Then find a solution for the other 2, Or let me help you pay for daycare part of the time. I don't need your money. I need your time. My time has value too. She looked at me like I'd hit her. Value? Are you telling me your time is more valuable than your grandchildren? I'm telling you I have my own life, plans, things to do. What plans, Mom? What could you possibly have to do that's more important than your grandchildren? And that question, that damned question. Like at my age, I couldn't have plans. Like my life didn't matter. It doesn't matter what I have to do. It's my time, and I can use it however I want. You're incredibly selfish. I'm not selfish for having boundaries. Yes, you are. You're their grandmother. You should be happy to watch them. And I am happy when it's my choice, not when it's your demand. She stood up, furious. I can't believe this. My mother refusing to help me when I need her most. I'm not refusing to help. I'm refusing to be a free nanny 3 days a week. It's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. She left, slamming the door, and I didn't hear from her for weeks. She didn't call, she didn't visit, nothing. And when she finally called, it was worse. I got a nanny. I had to go into debt, but I got one. I'm glad. You're glad? I'm going into debt because my mother won't help me. You're going into debt because you wouldn't accept my offer of partial help. Your offer wasn't enough. It was what I could give. And right then, she basically cut off communication. She stopped bringing the children to visit me. She stopped inviting me to their birthday parties. She stopped calling. And when I saw her at family gatherings, she was distant, cold. The children would ask me, "Why don't we go to Grandma's house anymore?" And Elizabeth would say, "Because Grandma is very busy." Busy. Like it was my fault, like I'd rejected them. But I didn't reject the children. I rejected being used, because that's what it was, being used. She didn't ask for grandmother help. She asked for nanny service, without payment, without gratitude, like it was an obligation. And when I said no, she punished me, took away my access to my grandchildren, used her children as a weapon against me. And that's what hurts most. Not that she's angry, but that she uses them, that she takes them from me as revenge. Because if she really cared about those children, she'd want them to have a relationship with me. But she cares more about punishing me, more than her own children's well-being. My other children have mixed opinions. Tom thinks I should have helped. It's family, Mum. Family helps each other. But it's easy for him to say. Nobody's asking him to watch children for free 15 hours a week. Maggie understands better. Elizabeth's going too far. She can't expect that from you. But she doesn't defend me openly, because she doesn't want problems with her sister. So I'm alone in this, like always. My friends are divided too. Some say, "I watch my grandchildren all the time. It's what we do." But when I dig deeper, they're exhausted, resentful, with no lives of their own. But they won't admit it, because admitting it means being a bad grandmother. Others support me. Good for you. You have a right to your life. But there are so few of them, so very few. Because the social pressure is enormous. Grandmothers should watch grandchildren, should be available, should sacrifice. And if you don't, you're selfish, bad, cold. But nobody talks about the cost, the exhaustion, the burnout, the life you lose. Because watching children is work, hard work. At 91, I don't have the energy I had at 30. I get tired. My body hurts. I need rest. And 15 hours with 2 children 3 times a week would destroy me. I couldn't do it. Physically, I couldn't. But I'm not supposed to say that, because it sounds like I'm rejecting the children. I'm not. I'm recognizing my limits. But nobody wants to hear about limits. They want infinite availability. I've thought a lot about whether I did the right thing, and I always come to the same conclusion. Yes, I did the right thing, because if I'd said yes, I'd be resentful, exhausted, unhappy, and that resentment would have affected my relationship with the children. I would have seen them as a burden, as an obligation, instead of as grandchildren I love. Saying no protected that relationship. Even though Elizabeth doesn't see it that way, because when I see them now, on the few occasions Elizabeth allows it, I enjoy them. I don't tolerate them. I enjoy them, because I'm not exhausted from them. I'm not resentful. I can give them my best self. In small doses, I can handle. That's worth more than being available but miserable. Do your children also expect you to watch your grandchildren for free, like it's your obligation? Do they also call you selfish for having boundaries? Or are you the one expecting your parents to watch your children for free? Tell me in the comments, because this expectation is destroying relationships. And if this video is giving you permission to set boundaries with your grandchildren, subscribe, because I'm going to keep saying that being a grandmother is not free work, that you have a right to your life, that love doesn't mean sacrificing everything. The truth is this: expectations about grandmothers are unfair. We're expected to be available, always, to watch grandchildren when parents need us, without complaint, without payment, with a smile, to put our lives on pause, our plans, our needs, because you already raised your children. Now it's time to help with the grandchildren. But that doesn't make sense. I already raised children. For decades, I gave everything: time, energy, life. And now, in my final years, I deserve to live for myself. It's not selfishness, it's justice. And I can love my grandchildren without raising them, without being their primary caregiver. I can be a wonderful grandmother in limited time, quality over quantity. But society won't accept that. It wants martyr grandmothers, sacrificed, available. And those of us who won't be, we're bad. But I don't care anymore. I don't care what people think. Because I've seen what happens to grandmothers who say yes to everything. Exhausted, sick, resentful, with no lives of their own, waiting for the grandchildren to grow up so they can finally rest. But by then, they're too tired, too sick, too old. They lost their final good years being free nannies, and nobody thanks them because it was their obligation. I'm not going to be that grandmother. I'm not going to sacrifice my final years, because these years are precious, limited, finite, and I'm going to use them the way I want, not the way others expect. So if Elizabeth won't talk to me, it hurts, but I survive. If I don't see the children as much, it hurts, but I survive. Because I would survive less if I'd said yes, if I was exhausted, resentful, living a life I didn't choose. I prefer this pain to the other one. I prefer external guilt to internal resentment. And maybe someday Elizabeth will understand when she's older. When her children ask the same thing of her, maybe then she'll value what she didn't value now. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. I did the right thing for me, and that's enough. So if your children expect you to watch grandchildren for free, if they pressure you, if they blame you, if they call you selfish, I want you to know you have the right to say no. You're not a bad grandmother for having boundaries. You're not selfish for protecting your time. You're not cold for not sacrificing yourself. You're a person with your own life, with the right to choose how to use it. And loving your grandchildren doesn't require you to erase yourself. You can love deeply in limited time. You can be a wonderful grandmother without being a free nanny. And if your children don't understand, that's their problem, not yours, because you already gave. For decades you gave. And now it's your turn to receive, to live, to choose. No apologies, no permission, choice. Thank you for staying until here, for listening to this truth about grandmothers and boundaries. If you know another grandmother being pressured to watch grandchildren for free, share this video. Maybe she needs permission to say no. Take care of yourself, and if people pressure you to watch grandchildren, remember, you have the right to say no, always. And write in the comments before you leave, I have the right to my time. Not for me, it's for you. It's your permission, your boundary, your life. See you soon. And remember, being a grandmother is not free work. It's love on your terms, and that's enough.